Good evening, minor league esports fans. We are back again with our last match of the evening, twos with the Comets and the Rhinos in Championship League. And once again, I am your host of the evening, Ice Cold Brew. We are sponsored by APM Music, and joining me in the booth once again, it's Desk Jockey. Good evening, Desk.
Hey, long time no talk.
It's been so long. And now, to kind of talk about the series we have coming up, interesting series right now because we just came off of one Comets versus Rhinos game for the Master League level and to another one at the Champion level. And the Rhinos were slated to win the last one at 63%, but this one's a bit more split between the Comets and the Rhinos, but the Comets took overall at 53% in the community pick'ems. Do you have any feeling about what team is going to take it away here?
Really, the Comets have been showing pretty strong so far throughout the season. They should be, I believe, is fifth right now, and the Rhinos, slipping a little bit more back to the bottom half of the CL. So, seeing how these two teams are really at the point right now where they're saying, "Hey, but we still got to prove who we are. We know we can be more." And I think the Comets probably are going to be coming out here with just a little bit more to prove than the Rhinos.
Yeah, the Comets coming out here, starting off strong. One thing to note is we have two teams that are statistically putting out the same value player on each side. We have Sleeper Kevin and Edarty at 14-5, 14. And then we have True Soldier and Rua at 14, 14-5 as well. And so with Edarty taking that first goal off the pass from Sleeper Kevin, though, it looks like the Comets are going to be starting off strong. And Sleeper Kevin going on a bump on Rua as well, too. Great play from that.
Yeah, great start from the Comets here. Exactly how you want to start the game. And still showing that they can put up some defense, too. 1-to-1 on the shots, and there Edarty just gets up and puts that second goal away. Like I said, I think the Comets have a lot to prove here. They're currently playoff seeded. You've got the Rhinos down at the bottom of the conference, the Orange Conference. You want to make sure that you're proving against your conference opponents that you can show up and show out, and the Comets coming out strong with an early 2-0 lead.
And we have Tree Soldier going off the backboard for that. Now Rua taking the ball up high, doesn't really have the space as it gets blocked and knocked away. I believe that's Edarty got jump on it with Kevin following up afterward. Rua takes the ball up onto the side of the wall, down to the ceiling. True Soldier tries to get another touch to Rua, but unfortunately cannot make that connection. Kevin gets demoed for just sitting still off to the side, leaving Edarty trying to make a solo play here, cannot get it around the ball. Instead, passes back to Sleeper Kevin, who booms it off to the corner, back to True Soldier. Soldier passes it up to Edarty, cannot control the ball. That ball's right in front of the net there. Kevin decides to turn away, knowing they have a 2-0 lead, and opts to protect their net. Smart play as they can take it off the side and play it forward here as Rua tries to get something going for the Rhinos.
Yeah, you could definitely see, too, here that the pressure from the Comets is so lateral, right? They're moving back and forth across the field, but they're staying inside the Rhinos' back third. So this relentless pressure is eventually going to give way, or if the Rhinos are patient and they can continue to clamp the way that they have been on defense here in this past minute, then they may get an opportunity on a quick turnaround. Now, Sleeper Kevin taking possession here on their own half. Keeping possession here with a 50. Rua comes in and clears it out for the Rhinos. Edarty now chasing, fighting in that corner. Almost a bit of a misplay as he centers that ball for the Rhinos. They can't quite put it away. True Soldier now trying to go up and get something, but just clears that ball over the net, and now the Comets are going back on offense.
Sleeper Kevin has a chance, tries to pop it up high, but Rua dove right on top of that ball. But now Edarty tries to get around True Soldier. Soldier able to move it off and away. Now Rua tries to get a pass out to center, cannot get that touch off the wall. But unfortunately, Sleeper Kevin made a mistake there. Edarty booms it off to the corner, buys himself some time. Rua misses a touch. Sleeper Kevin finds the corner pocket on the net and takes it up 3-0.
And just another great example of how ready this Comets team is, just ready to move. Once they get into their opponent's third, they're just cutting back and forth. across the field, and the Rhinos don't have any breathing room. Also, a beautiful shot there in that top left corner to put it away.
It was like the ideal placement for the Comets too, and I just could not find a single Rhino on the back line. But now we have True Soldier trying to get a read, sends it in, gets blocked, but Edarty might have just bumped it right back in, trying to join it out.
Yeah, just really not much to be done there. A triple pinch into the crossbar, and then the own goal by Edarty. But like, what are you gonna do in that scenario? That's one as the Comets. You know, you're glad that you have that 3-point lead, and you know you can't let off the gas pedal, because these mistakes, this space that you give a team in CL is going to make significant difference. Earlier we casted AL, right? You can see the difference in the punishment that a CL team is going to do to you there. True Soldier just lofting that one right over Sleeper Kevin. And now we have a ball game 2-3 here with 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, Sleeper Kevin looking for some redemption, takes that ball off the backboard, goes for another touch, bounces up high, but Rua's on top of it. True Soldier able to bring him to force that ball to a bounce. Rua bumping Edarty. Edarty loses his momentum right now, trying to keep that ball alive, but Sleeper Kevin's on it. 50, True Soldier almost own goals right back in. You saw that dodge, but now he's able to break it away. Edarty coming in too close, too far, too fast. And True Soldier getting another goal. Bring this game back up 3-3.
Oh man, dude, that was quite an interesting show there. The near own goal there on their own half, and then to just turn that around, it was almost like a fake. Just got the overcommit there from the Comets, and were able, they answer though. Edarty coming right back off the kickoff, barely, okay, so the 50 from Sleeper Kevin, and Edarty just puts that one right on net. Rua can't get back in time, he's backpedaling, and Edarty puts that one away. There's a lot of action happening here, and we've still got 1:30 to go.
Honestly, I feel like it's been par for the course for all the games I have seen so far. The very first game's a high-scoring game. True Soldier almost getting it in, but it rolls off the backboard and away. So now Rua's able to get a 50. It's True Soldier steps back, comes up the side, but Sleeper Kevin's there. 50 from True Soldier. Ball shot, but Edarty sends it up too high and now too far off the post. It's 4-3, though. They have space. They just need to... Good demo from Edarty there. They have the space. They have the time on their side. If they can just keep control of the ball and prevent the Rhinos from doing anything drastic. But that 50 might just give them the advantage there. That's True Soldier. Sends it all the way over to Rua. Rua tries to get it over Edarty, but Edarty plays it patient and gets punished for that patience. Now Rua trying to get another touch off the ball, but Sleeper Kevin there is able to get in touch. Edarty and Sleeper Kevin have a short little meeting in the middle of the field. Talk about who's going for the ball. Edarty wins that argument. But now that ball's heading over to True Soldier. Sleeper Kevin, soft touch. Edarty comes in, gets it boomed out of the way, but Rua demos Edarty. But this is getting down to the last 20 seconds as the Rhinos try to find another point.
Yeah, now it's a really close one, both on the scoreboard, in the stats, and both on the scoreboard. 10 seconds left now. Edarty in the middle of the field puts it towards the net, and it rolls. It's a very gentle touch, a very gentle goal. Looks like maybe Kevin was running a disruption there, bumped Rua out of the way, and it looks like the Comets are probably going to put this one away. 7 seconds left. The score is 3-5, 5-3 Comets on.
Yeah, and I just really want to shout out Kevin's thinking there. Sleeper Kevin just realizing Edarty has a chance to take that ball and gives him that opening, seeing that Rua's just tunnel vision on the ball. You have to be more field aware and get ready for those bumps, because we know the Comets are going to come streaking in whenever they get a chance. And the score shows that right now, 5-3, 4 of those goals from Edarty, but all 4 of those goals were off of assists from Kevin.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that you bring up there is the physicality right at the end of the game. We started to see that emerge from the Comets. And like I said, the Comets have something to prove in this series. They start strong with a game 1 win, 5-3. It was close game the entire game, but once we saw the physicality come out from the Comets, they looked confident there in the last 30 seconds of that game. They said, we're going to put this one away. And now they go into game 2 with quite a bit of momentum.
Quite a bit of momentum. And again, just a lot of trust. Yes, maybe there was a couple missteps. Maybe there was just some defense that just didn't work out. Maybe I owned gold a couple times. Or maybe I just didn't jump on the ball because I got too antsy and I went too far forward. But there's still that trust. There's still that momentum carrying them into this match 2 here, as the Rhinos, with the right idea, just weren't able to convert as much as they would like. I would love to see more aggression out of the Rhinos and for them to be able to dodge a few more demos from the Comets, because we know they're going to come in at them as hard as possible. But now we're going to see how they do in game 2 as we start off.
Yeah, game 2 here, going to the kickoff. Rua getting a 50 out of the gate. The ball is rolling just kind of freely in front of the Comets net. There, he tries to go in. Rua tries to make a play on that ball, but he gets demoed and it gets cleared away. Rua now back off the spawn, gets the ball into the Comets corner, looking to get some momentum right out of the gate here. A lot of pressure from the Rhinos. Centered ball there. Idarti managed to get the demo and a bit of a 50. Sends the ball towards the net is Sleeper Kevin, but that one's cleared away by Rua. A little bit of ping pong here to start off game 2.
A little bit of ping pong and a lot of demos coming from the Comets again. Granted, they are from dives of just trying to prevent an easy shot for the Comet, or the Comets getting demos trying to prevent an easy goal for the Rhinos. But now Sleeper Kevin is on the breakaway here, but True Soldier is able to get right under him, trip him up, and send that ball off to the side. But now Idarti passes over. Rua gets in the way there, sends it all the way up to True Soldier. True Soldier needs to get it around one, pops it just high enough over Idarti, and gets the first goal in favor of the Rhinos.
Yeah, and this is exactly how you want to start out with game 2. Rhinos saying, hey, we're here to play. We're going to play our game, taking the ball, slowing it down a little bit. The Comets have been playing very fast. So just taking the ball and saying, hey, we'll play this ping pong, we'll play the defense, and then we'll change up the speed and we'll put a couple shots on net and see if you guys can handle that. First one goes pretty much right in for the Rhinos. Now is Sleeper Kevin trying to set up an opportunity for the Comets. Rua says, no, sir. Ball comes down the right side of the field. True Soldier says, this one's not going in. Tries to challenge, but Sleeper Kevin ready to center it back out to the middle again. A 50 from Idarti, and Rua sends the ball to the right side. Now Sleeper Kevin saying, it's my turn to try and get this in for the Comets. Down by 1 goal right now with 3:22 left to go. Rua clears this away back into the Comets side, and a lot of pressure on the Comets third now from the Rhinos.
Yeah, and the Rhinos, a couple of missteps that are a little bit worrying, but what's more surprising is it's working in their favor right now, with the Comets struggling to get points in. But you know what? Maybe Idarti coming off the ceiling is enough to confuse True Soldier into throwing that ball and bouncing it right in front of him, right past his bumper.
Let me tell you, man, True Soldier was mesmerized by Idarti's play there. A beautiful aerial play, and then just coming in and letting it trickle in there. The kickoff almost going right in for the Rhinos to take a quick lead, but it's just off the mark. True Soldier now trying to play this ball back in front of the net, and Idarti says, I'm going to clear this one out. True Soldier now clearing it back out, but more physical play and a demo from the Comets here. Sleeper Kevin trying to center the ball. The ball waterfalls right in front of the net, but it's just off the mark, and Rua gets a clear off the backboard into the corner. Sleeper Kevin trying to keep it in. True Soldier now getting an opportunity to clear, but Idarti and the Comets are putting on more pressure, much more akin to the first game that they had there in game 1 there.
Good patience from True Soldier. Doesn't jump on the ball immediately, waits to see where it lands, and tries to make sure he denies the shot from the Comets as soon as they come off that post, and is able to do so. And now True Soldier is trying to center it for Rua. Rua, recognizing the play, sees Sleeper Kevin immediately on it, goes back, gets ready to defend, sends it back off into the corner. Idarti keeps it dropped right in front of him. Sleeper Kevin tries to get a touch on it, but cannot find it. Now Rua trying to get a redirect and cannot find the tip of the ball. So the ball heads back over to the Rhinos side. Soldier dodges the demo from Idarti, but does not dodge the bump as Rua flies up to the air, gets it right in front of Sleeper Kevin, who is able to knock it up and away. 1-1 right now as we're hitting the 1 minute 30-second mark in the match. But so far, I'm liking this pressure from the Rhinos, but unfortunately, the Comets just burning right through him in that moment.
Yeah, and it really so far has just kind of seemed to be who is in the right place at the right time. There's been a few errors, but it seems like every time there's an error from the Rhinos and there's an opportunity for the Comets, maybe they're a little thrown off by a touch that they didn't expect to be missed, or vice versa. So that's a lot of what's been happening in this game. Just a couple missed touches that haven't been punished quite as hard in game 2 as they were in game 1. But now Rhinos trying to take the most of this opportunity here. Missed touch by the Comets. Rua now trying to center the ball. It's dangling in front of the net, but Idardi clears it out. True Soldier now centering this ball again. Sleeper Kevin's there and tries to corral the ball, but Rua putting on extra pressure for the Rhinos now. Down 1. They need to score here. True Soldier almost puts that in, but it's just off the mark after Idardi got a deflecting touch there. Now True Soldier manages to squeak that one in. What a tight angle, tight shot there, right up next to, in the goalkeeper's box, right up next to the post. Beautiful quick shot there that Sleeper Kevin was not ready for, and it's a ball game at 2-2 with 42 seconds.
And what an incredibly clever touch from Rua, too. Might have gone a bit too far for what he anticipated, but the Comets had already pushed forward, and Sleeper Kevin was caught a little bit unawares, not realizing how tight of an angle that is for True Soldier to hit. But True Soldier, true to his word, is able to just find the back of the net. Now Rua and True Soldier, though, double commit, and that gave up another point for them. He'd already just taken that off the side, sending it to the post, and waiting for Sleeper Kevin to clean up the mess.
Yeah, and again, just a missed opportunity there by the Rhinos that the Comets were finally, after missing some of the open opportunities that have popped up earlier in the game, have now taken advantage of those opportunities. A quick pinch by Rua there and Sleeper Kevin, and that was almost in the top right corner of the net. Rua now trying to put one away, but he misses the touch. Idardi now taking this down into the Rhinos side. It looks like this one's going to end up being the Comets game, 3-2. And this one, I don't know, Cole, did you feel like it was a closer game in this one?
It felt better. It felt a little bit more like the Rhinos had a game plan coming in. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to keep that pressure up. The Comets were just running in red hot the entire time. And now they're calling for a sub in this moment, so we're going to see who they pull out. But with that in mind, Comets, Idarti, and Sleeper Kevin. Sleeper Kevin may not be the MVP of the match, but he's the MVP in my heart because he has just been making every play possible. Getting bumps, getting demos, making sure the way is cleared in order for Idarti to get that shot into the net. Idarti 2 for 6 right now. Sleeper Kevin 1 for 3, but both one assist, 1 save each, while True Soldier had 2 assists coming off of Rua, but that just was not enough. Rua taking himself out of the game, and we're going to see Omega Blaze come in for this match now.
Yeah, I'm real interested in this decision. Really, it's piqued my curiosity because one of the things that you're talking about, I think the difference maker in this game, as it was in the AL game earlier, was teamwork. We've seen a lot of teamwork coming out from the Comets half. There's been talent there. There's been good plays by the Rhinos. But that teamwork, Sleeper Kevin is always back. He's always ready for the shot. There were 1 or 2 that were good plays by the Rhinos, but the rotations are there for the Comets. So now seeing this change in the chemistry, change in the lineup, I'm interested to see what Omega Blaze and True Soldier do here.
Yeah, Omega Blaze comes in at a 13-5, by the way. So a little bit of a lower salary compared to everyone else right now. But it'll be really interesting to see how he plays with True Soldier. I think True Soldier and Omega Blaze have played often enough together where it could be a major difference maker, especially considering Omega was the AL2's champion last season, which explains his move up to CL. Idarti takes that 50, but Omega Blaze wins it out, gives it back to True Soldier. True Soldier, meeting of the minds there, goes in for the ball anyways, just dives right on it. Now Omega Blaze tries to follow it up, but Idarti gets a touch, slows it down in the corner. Now it's going to Sleeper Kevin. Sleeper waits for Omega Blaze, but Omega able to keep that touch alive. Sends it off to the side from True Soldier. But cannot make it work out as that ball heads back over to the Rhino side once again. Edarty looking for a pass down to Sleeper Kevin, gets it right past not one, but two defenders to get that goal.
Yeah, and just another example of great teamwork there. A bit of a double commit from Omega and True Soldier. So we're maybe shaking out the jitters here of switching out mid-series. That's tough to come into a series. You're down by 2, and you want to figure out how to make this work. You get called in. There's a lot of pressure there in that situation. I think Omega's prepared for it, and as you said, they're due to his success from last year. And now the Comets are really just trying to say, hey, how much pressure can we put on this Rhinos team as they're deciding to make this change and not let off, right, when we're up with this 2-0 lead right now. Beautiful save there by True Soldier. Off to Edarty. Edarty deciding to go back for the boost, giving some space to Omega, and Sleeper Kevin there with the demo. Sleeper Kevin now looking to try and get up to that ball before Omega does. Omega misses the ball. Sleeper Kevin looks for the opportunity, but True Soldier is there and cleared away. A close call there for the Rhinos.
Now we have Omega Blaze misses a touch as I am unfortunately ejected from the game here, and my game is timed out. That is tragic.
Oh no, the Sleeper Kevin takes this one and passes it up to True Soldier. Edarty, what a save by Edarty, a shot by Omega. Sleeper Kevin chasing, gets back just in time. Sleeper Kevin now taking possession into the Rhinos corner, and Omega Blaze, with a beautiful little carry out to try and clear the ball, pinching it off Edarty. And Cole, it looks like maybe you're back. If you want to...
I believe I am back. Hopefully hopefully the game will believe that I am still a part of this as I see Sleeper Kevin and Omega Blaze fighting for possession in that corner. True Soldier plays a little bit too close there, a little bit dangerous. Omega Blaze gets it past them, but unfortunately not able to recover in time. Omega Blaze demo on Sleeper Kevin right now as we hit past the halfway mark. It's still 1-0 in favor of the Comets, but Rhinos plenty of time to come back. Big boom from Omega Blaze. Gets set ablaze on the demo. True Soldier tries to make that ball go into the back of the net. Cannot find it as Sleeper Kevin is running away with the possession here. Rolls down. Puts it too far out past the post. But maybe Edarty can fix the situation. Sends it right back to Kevin. No, Omega Blaze pops it over Kevin and gets it. The first goal coming into the game. Ties it up 1-1.
Man, you're out here spitting bars. Cole, that was... can't even recall what you just said, but it was a Blaze setting him ablaze.
Set him ablaze, blew him up in a demo.
Beautiful, just like that shot. Great clear there from Omega. And now the game tied up 1-1 as True Soldier tries to get in there on the kickoff. Ends up back with Sleeper Kevin. Omega clearing this one away. But the Comets are just there, and they're relentless right now. Sleeper Kevin kind of taking his time with this one. True Soldier challenges, but Sleeper Kevin wins the 50 back into the Rhinos corner. Edarty is there. Pinched over across the backboard. True Soldier's there. But Sleeper Kevin has the opportunity to play this one up to Edarty. A bit of a pop and a 50 there. Sleeper Kevin taking possession again, back down into the Rhinos half. But Omega says, that's my ball, carries it off to the left side, now trying to take possession, but just can't seem to get it into the Comets' third. And that's really been the difficulty in the past game and a half for the Rhinos, has been they haven't been able to get the ball into their opponent's third, but they don't need to right now. Omega with another shot from the top of the three-point line, and he puts this one away almost midfield. What a beautiful shot and touch. Omega coming in as the clutch substitute right now.
Omega Blaze might as well have been soaring through the sky with how far he was flying for that shot. 2-1 now in favor for the Rhinos to finally get their lead. Sleeper Kevin almost taking advantage of that. Oh, True Soldier got the save, but unfortunately popped it right back into Edarty, and we're back to 2-2. But folks, if someone could go back, hit exclamation POTW, and grab that shot for Omega Blaze, for me personally, I would appreciate that. Great dunk from Edarty to tie this game back up, get that one back from them dropping the ball earlier and dropping it right back into the net to get them in this game. Omega Blaze, though, does not want to be counted out, sends that ball booming, does not go for the bump on Edarty, who sends that ball forward. Sleeper Kevin tries to get a soft touch. Omega Blaze sends it a little bit too tight, it hits the post instead. but puts the ball back in the net, catching the Comets in a bad position and takes that lead right on back.
Well, right now, Omega Blaze saying, yeah, I wasn't just player of AL last year. I'm going to be player of CL this year. Coming in, the fans, the Twitch stream, the chat is lighting up. Everybody is loving on Omega Blaze right now. He's playing his heart out there on the field. 3 goals right now to 4 shots, 75% shooting percentage, and 2 saves, which might be the difference right now. The Rhinos defense has played pretty well comparatively to the past couple of games, only allowing 2 goals so far off of 7 shots. Now as this ball is tumbling towards the Rhinos side of the field, and Sleeper Kevin almost puts that one back towards his own net, but he manages to clear it to the corner. Sleeper Kevin centering this one again. True Soldier trying to keep it up. Maybe we're playing keep it up, play around the world here in this last second of the game. Ball will touch down, and the Rhinos will take their first game of the series. It's now a 2-1 series with Comets on top right now.
Coming in cold, unsure of where his skill level is, and technically undersalaried as well, too, by half a point compared to the other team. Omega Blaze came in amazingly hot and just set fire to the field. True Soldier setting him up, getting him ready for the match. We even have Rua in the chat saying, I knew he was going to play better than me. Rua, don't count yourself out, though. You were still playing great out there. But Omega Blaze right now, 3 out of 4 shots. 6 shots total for the Rhinos. All 3 of them coming from him whenever they got a goal. And the Comets just not able to find where the back of the net is in this one.
Yeah, the Comets have been playing really well the whole series, putting on a lot of pressure, but they've been making mistakes too. And Omega came in, him and True Soldier kind of double committing a little bit, kind of giving up some easier goals, and then they adjusted, and Omega put on a clinic. Again, 3 goals, shooting 75%. Some of those shots were from basically midfield. He's killing the game right now and giving the Rhinos a lot of momentum going into Game 4.
And going into Game 4, it's still match point for the Comets right now. We are in a 2-1 situation. So hopefully the Rhinos are able to change up their strategy just a bit in order to throw off the Comets. Ball 50 right off the side of the backboard, rolls down into the corner over to Sleeper Kevin. Kevin trying to find a chance to pass off. Omega Blaze touches it, sends it upfield towards the center, sends it down, but Edarty is able to get a touch there. True Soldier pops it all the way off to the corner, sends it over to Omega Blaze, but Sleeper Kevin's right on top of it, looking for another chance for the Comets. Does not want to repeat of last game, but True Soldier's on a breakaway here, tries to find the net, gets it over to Omega Blaze instead from the block by Kevin, and Kevin gets another block, sends it upfield for a save.
Yeah, and just a lot of back and forth right now, as we've seen the past couple of games right at the beginning. But there's a lot more possession play for the Rhinos, and they're not letting the Comets come up and take their back third the way that it was during the first 2 games. There was a lot of pressure from the Comets. Now the Rhinos are taking their opportunities. They'll take a couple on the chin, and then they'll roll out and try to make sure that they're moving the ball upfield. Now Omega Blaze taking a shot from his own back quarter of the field, getting this ball now on the left side, down to Sleeper Kevin, who clears it away. True Soldier's there, though, and he's going to try and keep this one popped up, going up for this shot, trying to keep it in front of the net, but Edarty is there to clear this one away. Omega Blaze challenging, but Sleeper Kevin is there to clear it away. Now a shot from True Soldier, and what a save by Edarty, just clearing that one right off the crossbar. A challenge here from True Soldier, and now the Rhinos may be a bit exposed now as the Comets have a breakaway. Edarty with a shot, and Omega Blaze, what a save and clear by Omega Blaze. That surely looked like it was going to be a Comets goal.
It was so dangerous. I was worried that Omega Blaze was not able to recover in time, but no, he does. And for folks joining us for the first time in minor league esports, this is Champion League. That means C2, C3 level, some of them even in GC1. But we're seeing some top-tier gameplay from Omega Blaze and True Soldier right now. Unfortunately, Edarty is able to put the slow pop right into the net, right in front of Omega Blaze, who cannot recover in time to get that save.
Yeah, just a good team play there, catching them on the back foot. Sleeper Kevin with a great pass, great challenge that ends up popping right to Idardi. Now, as True Soldier takes the kickoff, he pushes it back to the Comets side, but decides to go back. But Omega then comes up, challenging. Now, True Soldier looking to get another challenge, but doesn't quite get there in time. Sleeper Kevin now clearing it up to the Rhinos back third. Omega Blaze trying to take control, but a challenge there by Idardi that sends the ball back to True Soldier, who manages to clear it away. Good positioning and patience on all sides right now. Sleeper Kevin now taking the 50 with Omega Blaze, and a bit of a misplay. No, calculated, of course, there. Demo from Sleeper Kevin, another demo from True Soldier, who demoed Sleeper Kevin. Just a bunch of revenge happening right now, and it's getting a little gritty out here on the field, Cole.
As parts are flying around, it gets a little confusing of who demoed who. Idardi not able to find the back of the net. That shot was so close. Omega Blaze sends it off to the corner. Look for 50 on Sleeper Kevin. Has it, wins it, sends it off, but Idardi's there as well. Demoed by True Soldier, demoed by Sleeper Kevin. Cannot get to the ball in time as it rolls right into the net. Idardi finding it off that just smart play from Sleeper Kevin, then coming in clutch every single time.
Yeah, and just capitalizing. The Comets just leaning back into this one and knowing, hey, we're just going to continue to play our game. They're not shaken by that clinic of a performance from Omega last game. But now True Soldier trying to make a play on the ball. Doesn't quite get the touch that he wants there on the aerial, and that ball is just off the post. The Comets almost punishing that one. And True Soldier trying to put another one on net, but just off the mark in the top right corner of the net. True Soldier now back in the corner with Omega Blaze clearing down. Idardi gets a touch, but this ball is centered up. Omega can't get a touch, and now the Comets have a 2-on-1 situation. Idardi trying to carry this one in, but it's cleared out by a quick challenge by True Soldier, and Omega Blaze putting one in the net there off the backboard. Seems like the Comets were getting a little loose there on that particular play, and Omega's back to make sure that they know that he'll punish them for that.
And that's something that we saw in last game. In fact, they've been in this position before where the Comets were up, and then they got a little bit too lax, played a little bit too far forward, and were punished for that. But now my question is, can Omega Blaze give us a repeat performance of last game and take it away? True Soldier getting demoed for the 50 off of Idardi, and Omega Blaze tries to find the back of the net, but Sleeper Kevin pops it just high enough to hit the crossbar. Now 38 seconds down, but I think the Rhinos might have an open net opportunity. No, Omega Blaze rolls it up the side of the backboard, cannot find it. So True Soldier tries to 50 it out, tries to get back on net. That's on target, but gets saved by Sleeper Kevin. Idardi has it going, takes it off the side, takes it low, gets it around, still enough momentum in front of the net. True Soldier carries it, passes it over to Omega Blaze, but Idardi's right there and gets a save again. Shutting down this offense for the Rhinos. Is this the series for the Rhinos? As Omega Blaze tries to keep it up, but cannot keep it high. That is a 3-1 in favor of the Comets. They will take this series, but don't forget, folks, in this league, we play all 5. Rhinos have a chance to minimize damage because every game counts in your standings. Every game can be the difference between playoffs, play-ins, and just going to bed.
Yeah, a great showing here by the Comets to come out and take the series. They've remained in control for most of the series, but when Omega came in, they came in real strong. Still not a bad performance by the Rhinos by any means. A little higher, lower, I should say, of a shot percentage there. Omega only hitting 25% at 1-4. True Soldier 0 for 2. Defense not looking bad though. 3 saves. Just a little bit more pressure from the Comets and just adapting, continuing to play as a team, and just making sure that when the Rhinos came through with a little bit of momentum, that they readjusted and continued to play their game.
Yeah, one thing I think the Comets are doing really well, especially on the Rhinos, is they know to expect Omega Blaze will either pop it and try to carry it over, or is getting ready for a pass from True Soldier and will shut that down immediately. And also just the smartness of Sleeper Kevin looking on the field, being aware of where people are moving towards and just getting in the way, taking that chance of possession away from the Rhinos, opening up opportunity after opportunity for Edarty. Like, Sleeper Kevin didn't have any goals for himself. I think he had maybe one shot, but that did not matter. He was still very involved in the plays, as we see the Comets not able to convert on this one. Pass down to Sleeper Kevin, who misses. Omega Blaze looking for a breakaway, tries to get it out to True Soldier. Taking off to the backboard, bounces it down, but a little bit too fast, too furious as it heads off to the corner.
Spicy pass there. Great potential opportunity, but just a little hotter than you really want. A beautiful save there by True Soldier as the Comets are trying to apply pressure now. A quick shot from Omega Blaze, and that looks like that's going to be the first point on the board for this final game of the series. And the Rhinos say, no, we want to make sure that we're going home at least 2-3. A beautiful shot there by Omega Blaze to put the first point of the game on the board.
Smart thinking from Omega Blaze as well. He sees the challenge coming from Sleeper Kevin. Sleeper Kevin opting for the ball over the net, and instead just puts it just a little bit in front of him, knowing he cannot beat the ball in time. I think if Sleeper Kevin just sat back a little bit more, just waited a little bit closer to the net, he would have had a bit more space to cover and react. But now True Soldier finds the bottom of the crossbar, brings it down from the pass from Omega Blaze, wants to get more involved in this game and wants to win.
Yeah, and as I said at the beginning of this series, right, the Comets came in here and they had something to prove. They wanted to win the series. They won the series. What they can't do right now is take their foot off the gas, right? Because that's what's going to keep them in the middle of the pack right now, where they are in 5th place in their conference. Whereas you've got the Rhinos who still have something to prove. They are saying, hey, we don't want to be at the bottom. We're still contenders for the playoffs. We're just getting our lineup sorted out, right? The difference of the team and the play from the Rhinos subbing in Omega was one of the smartest choices that could have been made there at that point in the series. And the Rhinos almost came back and had a chance to tie up the series as well in that last game. Now, if you're the Rhinos, you want to make sure that you're still putting on a show, and they're doing a great job right now with a 2-0 lead with 3 minutes left to go.
True Soldier with that great 50 off of Sleeper Kevin. And folks, just to mention it in the chat as well, we invite all folks to join the league. We start from gold, all the way up to Grand Champ 4, even to the lower levels of SSL. Hit !FL if you are in below Champ 1 level, and you can find out what league you will join in from there. Hit !apply in the chat to come join the league. There's plenty of time to join before roster lock in order to find out what team you can sign up for. And come join the community, come learn a little bit more about Rocket League, and get some competitive esports in you. As we see True Soldier take this ball off towards the center of the field, exclamation. I said exclamation and just completely lost my train of thought there as Omega Blaze steps back towards the center of the field. Gets it around Sleeper Kevin. That ball's rolling right into the net and gets that first goal for the Comets.
I could have taken the lead on that one, just followed up on the exclamation. But an exclamation point there, beautiful exclamation point from Sleeper Kevin to make sure that no one's counting them out yet. We got 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Edarty there on the kickoff. Sleeper Kevin pressuring quick, trying to get a shot off, but can't quite get around Omega Blaze to put that one away. Edarty now back on defense, trying to control this one away from Omega. And then True Soldier coming in with a lot of pressure. This one's down off the backboard. Sleeper Kevin a little awkward, but manages to get the stop. Passing it off to Edarty. True Soldier now taking the push from Edarty and trying to control it in the corner, but a back pass there from Edarty that ends up going back to Omega Blaze. And now the Rhinos have an open opportunity, but True Soldier can't get the redirect. A little bit of an awkward stop, slow rolling ball there, so no opportunity. True Soldier now with an open net opportunity, but can't get it there quick enough and gives the Comets time to recover. A lot of pressure here from the Rhinos as Omega finally puts this one away, and a lot of pressure from the Rhinos, Cole, in that last 30 seconds.
Yeah, and we just see True Soldier and Omega Blaze just taking turns, keeping that pressure. And we saw Edarty and Sleeper Kevin tripping over each other. And yeah, maybe True Soldier didn't have the alacrity to put that ball in, but boy, did he make the rest of them panic and gave Omega Blaze plenty of time to bring that ball down from around the corner and just zoom it right in. Edarty sends it up too high, though. Sleeper Kevin lob it off to the side to give Edarty some space to show off, but unfortunately, Edarty can't find the back of the net. Omega Blaze tries to go for a flip reset, tries to do it himself, but cannot get off as Edarty sends it forward towards Sleeper Kevin. Omega Blaze passes up to True Soldier. True Soldier on a breakaway here. Just needs to bring it a little bit tighter and finds the back of the net.
He waited till the last possible second to squeeze that one in, but what a shot, just hooking it right inside the right post there. And yeah, the Rhinos are saying, man, maybe if we would have had an extra 30 seconds in the last game, we would have had a chance at the series. But they're showing out here in Game 5. Beautiful performance, a lot of team plays, capitalizing on empty nets, and just making sure that their rotations and pressure are on point, and they are right now. The Comets putting up 4 shots so far in this game, have only 1 goal, and the Rhinos have gone 5 for 6 with their shots. So really just making sure that every shot counts, and beautiful save there by True Soldier to keep this one down on the edge of the Rhinos back third. Now this ball is open in front of the net, and it looks like the Comets will put that away just to make sure. Both Comet players made sure they were right there by the goal line to put that one in.
One won the point more than the other. 22 seconds left to go. There is a chance Comets could score 3 goals in the next 20 seconds to bring it up to a tie and put that pressure back on the Rhinos. Rhinos right now, a bit of a confusing play because I saw one of their players getting all the way up front ready for possession, knowing that both of the Comets were about to dive on the ball and knowing that his teammate might need a little bit more help, but he was all the way up front as Edarty takes this ball up towards the center, and we're going to let this drop as soon as it hits half court. And Game 5 is going to go to the Rhinos, but the series is going to go to the Comets.
Yeah, and a beautiful series at that. It's a 3-2 victory for the Comets, but the Rhinos show that, hey, we've got some adjustments to our lineup. We're thinking we want to make sure we're set on who we're going to play, and they made that change with Omega, put him in instead of Rua, and it really paid off in the long run for them. Like I said, Game 4, if they would have had maybe even 10 to 15 seconds, it could have been a tied series, or the Rhinos could have even taken this one. Really close, really good, and a great way to end the weekend, in my opinion.
Absolutely fantastic fighting. I think one thing that this brings up is the Rhinos may not have won the series, but they are putting the rest of the league on notice. They can contend and be a high caliber team, but they have to win these last 5 matches. They have to put a strong showing for 5 more weeks and twos in order to get up even to a play-in spot. So with that performance in Game 5 and Game 3 as well, I cannot wait to see how the rest of the season goes for them. And with that, though, folks, I do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Balls Guarana, our sponsor for Play of the Week. If you saw any plays that you love that deserve to be recognized live on stream, hit !POTW in the chat to send that to OpenNet and let us get you a chance to vote who wins Play of the Week. Along with that, I do want to shout out Guardian Proline as well, our merch designer. If you love your franchise, if you love your team, if you want to be a Comet, a Rhino, a Demolition, go check out Guardian Proline, !Proline in the chat to pick up some beanies, hoodies, jerseys, MLE jerseys, a whole bunch. Rep your franchise, rep the organization with Guardian Proline. But with that, folks, we are going to be wrapping up for the night. We have played all 4 series, and Death Jockey has been great to play with, to commentate and shout out these games with you. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
It's been a pleasure. And we got to do 2 today, which is sometimes a rarity. So thank you for bearing with me on both of those games. And thank you to all of you for showing up and showing out. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Thank you. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening.
And folks, with that, we're going to go ahead and raid off to Ultimate Rocket League. So stick around and join that raid. Let them know who brought you in as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. Good night.